The Ugly Stepsister is a new Shudder horror film and is a sort of retelling of the Cinderella story. But the story mostly follows one of the stepsisters, not Cinderella herself, as she's obsessed with marrying the prince of the land. She even has his book of poetry that she reads out loud consistently throughout the whole picture. When the main character's mother, the evil stepmom from the Cinderella fable, becomes obsessed with making our main character, named Elvira, the most beautiful woman for the prince to choose, the amount of physical changes she's willing to put her daughter through, as well as the daughter putting herself through those insane antics, what will happen once the prince meets the real Cinderella? This is a beautiful looking fairy tale that is filtered through some gnarly body horror. Much like The Substance from last year, it isn't afraid to show just how brutal women can be to themselves, all in the name of being what society accepts as beautiful. This story takes place seemingly in the 19th century or so many of the common methods of physical makeovers don't exist in this world. So Elvira, as well as her mother, allow things to be done to her that are disturbing to see, including, but not limited to, nose rearrangement surgery, where they show the nose being broken, eyelashes being sewn around her eyes, and even her swallowing a tapeworm in order to maintain a healthy weight. There is so much emphasis on outer beauty in this picture. The thesis does not seem to be that inner beauty wins out in the end though, because we don't follow Cinderella herself. The Ugly Stepsister is much more blunt with this thesis, as some women will seemingly do anything to gain the love and admiration of people solely for her physical beauty. Gotta cut toes off to fit into a shoe? Why not, says this movie. I'd also like to add that the decaying corpse of the patriarch who died in the beginning is sitting in a basement area of the house, and we come back to him from time to time more decayed as the movie goes along. This is the directorial debut of Emilie Blichfeldt, I hope I pronounced her name correctly, and I have a strong sense of fire in the soul from the way she directs this picture that reminds me of the fire that was in Coralie Fargeau's first film, Revenge. This picture does not hold back, and because of that, it is one of the best films of the year so far. The character of Elvira is a very pretty young lady, but she's so insecure about her appearance, no thanks to her witch of a mother, coupled with her uncontrollable desire to marry the prince, and we have a character that may not give us much insight into how she feels, but commits many acts to herself, and that's all the insight we need into how she perceives herself. Cinderella is in this story, and yes, she is reduced to being a lowly worker at the manor as she is in the original fairy tale. But the reason for her being reduced like that plays out much differently in this movie. Let's just say we get a penis shot in this story. The closure of the Cinderella story does play out exactly as it did in the source material, but she is not the focus. Instead, the straight arrow person we follow is our main character's younger sister. She isn't in the film as much as maybe she should be, but she sees the things her sister does to herself and her mother forces her to do, and it leads to a great ending, which I will not spoil. The costume design, set design, and gothic imagery are amazing in this movie. The fact that this is the director's first film blows my mind. If this film is lower budget, then it disguises that so well with its royal feel when we are indoors at places, such as the dance lessons our main ladies go through, to the interior of the castle manor, but most impressively is the gothic imagery that looms all over it. When it is cloudy outside, I can feel the dew settling in our character's world. When it is foggy, I felt like I was watching some great fog, and it almost made me want to watch it in black and white. It's so well done that I could see those sequences in black and white. Needless to say, the look of this picture is a sight to behold. We meet the prince one time before the famous Cinderella ball sequence from the original story, and he's kind of a jerk. He sees the quote-unquote ugly stepsister in a forest area with his friends, and he exclaims to them and her that he would never have sex with her because of her looks. So when we get the inevitable stuff between him and Cinderella, the picture is smart for including this scene because it makes us care less that he cares for Cinderella more than our heroine. It's brilliant, to be perfectly honest. It sets us up to only care about the horrible things our main character is doing to herself to please someone that is not worth pursuing in the first place. The lead star of this, Lea Myren, I hope I pronounced her name correctly, is so wonderful in this movie. The weird dreadlock thing she has in her hair did distract me for a little while at the beginning. That wore off after a time for me, particularly when she is shown with her hair down and we see just how beautiful she is. I got more aggravated with her mother for all the shit she forces upon her daughter. The last 20 minutes or so are completely gnarly with the body horror. It isn't as jolting as someone growing out of your back, as was the case with The Substance, but I may just advise you to not eat while watching The Ugly Stepsister. It is not afraid to go there. The only, and I mean only, complaints I can throw at this movie is that I wish the younger sister would have been in the film a little bit more. There's a sequence where she gets her period for the first time, but it's never followed up on again, and the film had made it seem like it was going to be a big deal because of what the mom would do. Who knows what she would do with her now that she is that age. I also wish that the stepmother could have been shown as being malicious with her tendencies more organically. It felt like it came out of nowhere a little bit and it felt slightly rushed. But that's early on in the film, so I came to terms with that and I just enjoyed the rest of the ride. And what a hell of a ride it is. This picture is streaming on Shudder and I highly recommend you see it. The Ugly Stepsister is right up there with The Dead Thing and Mads as one of the best films to come out of Shudder in the last year or so. It is a slow burn story because it is very character driven and there are no traditional scares in it. But once it gets going with the body horror in a scene where a pimple is being popped, just know that that is a warm up for some serious crazy shit that comes later. I give The Ugly Stepsister 4 stars out of 4. This movie blew me away, and for it being a directorial debut, I am excited for this potential new major director arriving on the scene. Congratulations to everyone involved. This is one of the best films of 2025 so far. Okay, so The Ugly Stepsister, what are your thoughts on it? Please let me know. I get supremely ecstatic when something new and fresh comes along like this. It may be borrowing from somewhat old material, but wow, what a great twist to put onto it. Anyway, if you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to some of my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.